Good day, everybody. I hope that you're well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 5 English lesson on regular plural nouns. And before we start with our lesson on regular plural nouns, we're going to log into aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, we're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 5, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of regular plural nouns. All right, so when we get to the chapter of regular plural nouns, right? So today the chapter is regular plural nouns. The subject is English language arts. Grade 5. And the lessons that we're going to be focusing on under the chapter of regular plural nouns are to form and use plurals, and to form plurals. So basically to form and use plural nouns. Let me just fix this one. Plural nouns that is ending in F, FE, O, and in Y. So that is going to be our first lesson, is to form and use plural nouns that's ending in F, FE, O, and Y. And we're going to explain that some more during our lesson, right? So that's going to be the first lesson. And then the second lesson is going to be form and use plurals of nouns that is ending also in F, FE, O, and Y. And then we're just going to form and use plurals when we are done. So which means that before we end our lesson, we are just going to go over how to form and to use plural and just do a review of it. Right? So that is regular plural nouns, right? So we are going to be doing that, or that is going to be our lessons for today under the chapter of regular plural nouns, grade 5, right? And when it comes to regular plural nouns, right? So firstly, if we break down the chapter which says regular plural nouns, a noun, it names a person, names a place, names animals, names things, right? So that's a noun. And then when it comes to plural nouns, right? So basically to form plurals of most of the nouns, we sometimes just add an S. So plurals refers to more than one, right? So it refers to more than one, either person, place, thing, animal, or sometimes idea, right? And to form a plural of most of the nouns, we sometimes just add an is. But now when it also comes to regular plurals, right? So this is still us breaking down the word. So when it comes to regular plural nouns, then it means that with regular plural nouns, it's like there's a specific rule that you need to follow when it comes to, for example, showing the plural form of a specific noun, which is either adding an s or words in this case ending with if, e, o, and y. Because with regular plurals, it's like you just add maybe one or two letters in order for the word to change, whereas with irregular plurals, it's like the whole wording sometimes changes. So basically, to form plurals, right, or to form most of the plural nouns, we basically just add an s. So to form the plural of most nouns, we just add an s. For example, right, let's say a singular noun. A singular noun is, for example, like where we just say tree. So it's like one tree referring to it being singular. But if we basically show the plural form of that word tree, right, then we would say trees. So plural meaning it's anything there's two or more. So that is why we're saying two trees. So basically we just added an s, right, to show the plural form. So one tree, two trees. So basically we're using the word, for example, either let's say the word in front of it, either one or two or three or whatever, to show either the singular form or to show the plural form. And then if a noun ends in s or the noun ends in ch, which is also like, it's almost like we say ch, or the noun ends in sh, which is like sh, x, or z, or z, then we basically have to add es to make it plural. That is now when we, for example, show the plural form, right? For example, one bush, and this is showing that the word ends with sh. So one bush, that shows singular, but the plural form of that specific word is like saying two bushes, right? So two bushes, and we basically added our es to make it plural. So one bush, two bushes. It's like, okay, if we look at another word that maybe ends with ch, then we can say one peach, right? Ending with ch. One peach showing the singular form. But more than one, or like two, we can say two peaches. And there we added the es to show the plural form. If we maybe we're looking at an example with is, where the word ends with is, then we can say one bus. See, bus just ends with an S. But now two buses, right? And that ends with ES. Going to make an example of X. Then we can say one box because it ends with X, right? Singular form. And we can say two boxes, right? And there it ends with ES to show the plural form of that box or the word that ends with an X. So that is basically a few examples each of either the nouns ending in S, CH, SH, or X. And we said that when the noun ends in one of those, that ends either in S, CH, SH, or X, and then we basically just add an ES to make it plural. And if a noun, right, if it ends in the consonant Y, if it ends in a consonant Y, then you need to drop the Y and you add IES to make it plural. Yes, definitely. So it does not just have to be two boxes. Remember, plural form shows anything that is two or more. So it can be, for example, one box, and it can be 30 boxes, right? So the two is just to show that it is more than one, right? But it can be any bigger number, anything that is two or more. Plural is anything that is two or more. It can be 1,000 of something, even. For example, if let's say here it comes to the consonant Y, for example, one baby, right? And then we say two babies. So which means that the Y was dropped and we added IES to show the plural form. The same with family, right? Family, think of, let's say, one family. Show plural form of family. So first, this is a singular form, family. So if we want to show that there's more than two families, let's say it's maybe at an event where the families had to be there, then we can maybe say 10 families. So then we say 10 families. So we say fam, we drop the Y, so we add, oh, family. So we drop the Y, right, for the family, for the Y, and then we add IES. So we can say 10 families, you can say 20 families, you can say thousands of families, right? But plural form shows anything that is two or more. That is the plural form, or that is plural, right? And then lastly, if the noun ends in F, so if the noun ends in F, right, or FE, and the F sounds changes, right? So if the sound changes to like V, if you maybe say the word and the if sounds a bit strong, if you should put it like that, and it sounds more like a V, right? When it's plural, then we need to drop the F, or we drop the FE and we add VES to make it plural. For example, one wolf, right? So you can even hear when we say one wolf, it sounds like an F. But as soon as we enough examples show that there's more than one wolf, then we say two or more wolves, right? So can you hear wolves? It's almost like it sounds like a V, right? So which means that we change or we drop that FE, or we drop the F that wolf basically ends with, and we add the VES. So if the word changes or the sound changes, sorry, if the sound changes, then we add the VES. Same like with half. One half, for example, ends with an S, one half. Maybe say four halves, and it sounds like a V. So four halves, right? And then we add VES. All right, so we are doing so that is first basically our review, or let's say us forming plurals or using plurals. And we are going to go a bit deeper into how to even form it, how to use plural nouns, right? And we are doing our tutorial lesson on A plus students.ca. So we're doing our tutorial lesson on A plus students.ca. Right, so now we're going to A plus students.ca, where we're going to form plurals of nouns that's ending in F, FE, O, and Y. So we already went over half of this. We already went over all of those where we made mention of where we form plurals, and most of our plurals either ends basically add where we add an S, or if our noun ends with an S, CH, SH, X, or Z, and then we add ES. Or if the consonant ends in Y, then we drop the Y and we add IES to make it plural. And we also went over to show that if our noun ends either in F or FE, and the F sound changes to V when it's plural, and then we drop the F and the FE, and we add VES to make it plural. All right, so now, if your noun also ends, right, in F or FE, and the plural form keeps the F, right, The F sound, meaning that the F sound does not change when you either, let's say, when it turns into a plural, or when it sounds like when it's a plural form, sorry, when it's more than one or two or more, right? Then it means that we just add an F to make it plural. So for example, one chef. So chef ends in F, right? So if we make mention of two or more chefs, can you hear when we say chefs, right? It does not sound as if it doesn't sound like a V, right? Which means that we basically just add an S. So chef, one chef, two or more chefs. So we just basically keep the F and we just add an S. And then lastly, if the noun ends in O, right, then we usually just add either an S to make it plural. However, we add ES to the following exceptions, which is like tomato. So if we have the word tomato, or if we have two or more tomato, potato, hero, echo, tornado, volcano, and mango. If there's two or more of these items or things, and then we add es to it. For example, if our noun just ends with an O, then we add an S. For example, one piano, two or more pianos, right? And as you can see, we just added an S. But, right, we add ES to the following words. We add ES to words such as tomato, so we add ES to words such as tomatoes. So one tomato, two or more tomatoes, and then we can see we added the ES. Potato, one potato, let's say 10 bags of potatoes, and we add ES, right? Hero, right? We have one hero that made a difference. But the plural form of hero is heroes, and we add the ES to show the plural form. The same with echo. It's like when you're basically standing in a building, an empty building, and you maybe shout, and now your voice echoes, right? So one echo, two or more echoes, and it ends with an ES. Remember, we're adding ES to the words that we are going to be mentioning now, which is tomato, potato, hero, echo. Tornado, one huge tornado, right? Or we can say three tornadoes, and we add ES. And then one huge volcano. And then we have maybe three volcanoes. And then lastly, we have one mango. And then we maybe have 10 juicy mangoes. and we add the es. So that is basically examples of either word that ends with O. And remember, we see that if a word ends with O, we just basically add an S. But the following words that I basically wrote down, when the words end with an O, right, the plural form, to show the plural form, we need to add the ES. All right, so now we need to type the missing word, right? So we need to type this word that we see over here. Calf. So it's like one calf, right? And then we have two or more calves. So which means that it is the V. It says it specifically tell you that if it's one calf, right? Then it's telling us to drop the F. It says minus the F, and we just add the VES. So one calf, two or more calves, right? Then we have one safe. It's a safe where you keep your personal belongings or important belongings, money or anything in. Little safe. So one safe. And then we have two or more safes. So as you can see, we just added an S. Right? And then lastly, we have university. So we have university. So if we write the word university, right? We see that if the word ends with a Y, we drop the Y. So it becomes universe. We drop the Y and we add the IES to show the plural form. So university, universities. All right, so now we're going on to our test, right? Where we're going to form plural of nouns that's ending in F, FE, O, and Y. And if we look at that first word, right, it says we need to type the missing word university minus a Y, we add the IES. So if we type that word, is it going to be the first option, which is universities, or is it just going to be university? So is it universities or just university? That's going to show the plural form to show that there's more than one of that. All right, then if we show the plural form, then we're going to say universities, right? Because we dropped the Y and we added the IES. So well done. Universities are correct. So now we need to type the missing word. One calf. We minus the F, we remove the F, and we just add the VES if it sounds like a V sound when it shows more than one. So is it calves or is it calf? Let's not just show the plural form. Is it 10 calves or 10 calf? All right, so if we want to type the missing word, and then we are going to choose the first option. Because if we say the word, if it just sounds like the singular form just sounds like calf. But as soon as we make mention of more than one of those words, then it is calves. We drop the F and we add VES to show the plural form. So well done. Calves is correct. Then we have safe plus S. So safe. The safe is that where you put your personal belongings, items, money in, right? So one safe, two or more, is it saves or two or more safes? Which one is the correct one? All right, so if we choose the correct one, we'll choose safes, which is SAFES. So well done. Safes is correct, not saves. And lastly, we have one tray. Two or more, is it trays or trays, which is ES, or just ending in an S? Trays. So if we're going to add or choose the correct word, right, to show the plural form, and then we're going to use the first option, which is trays, where we just add it in is to show the plural form. All right. Now we're going to form and use plural of nouns ending in F, Fe, O, and Y. And we already went over the whole description of words ending with F, Fe, O, and Y, right? So now we're going to complete the sentence with the correct plural. Researchers at Brown University found that some valley on Mars may have been created by runoff from melted snow. So researchers from Brown University found some valley. So we need to change this word valley into a plural form. Because if you say some, then it means that there's more than one valley, right? So they found that some valley on Mars may have been created by runoff from melted snow. So we have one valley, right? And then we have two or more valleys. So two or more valleys. So we basically just added an S to show the plural form. One valley, two or more valleys. Now, the next one says Elvis Presley started his career at Sun Records, one of the most famous recording studio in history. So recording studio, we need to change this word studio to a plural form, right? So we have one studio where we are creating music, but then more than one, we can say studios. And we just add an S to show the plural form, right? And then the last one we have in 2003, teachers' weekly salary averaged about 14% less than those of other workers with similar education levels. So the word salary, right? One teacher's salary. And the teachers, they earn salaries, right? So which means that when it comes to salaries, then we drop the Y and we add the IES. Salaries. So we drop the Y. So if the consonant ends with a Y, we drop the Y and we add the IES to show the plural form. All right, so now we're going to begin our test where we are forming and using plural nouns ending in F, FE, O, and Y. So we need to complete the sentence with the correct plural. In the summer, it seems that restaurants with outdoor seating on patios are the most popular. So if we change this word patio into the plural form, is it patios, where we just add an S, patios, adding a double S, or patiosis? Which one is the correct one? To show the plural form of patio. So a patio is like an outdoor area where you can, so it's almost like sitting on the balcony. So with restaurants, instead of sitting inside of the restaurant, you sit like outside of the restaurant, and then they have like a covering, almost like a fence, a mini fence, but there's like seating outside, which is not in the restaurant, but it's like outside. So if it's like a two-story restaurant, and then the outdoor section on the patio would be almost like on the balcony. But if it's only a one story, then right at the bottom of the restaurant, but outside, when they put the tables and the chairs, they call that the patio. So usually summertimes it's more popular for people to want to sit outside than sit inside of the restaurant. So if we show the plural form of patio, then we will choose patios. We will just add an S, right? So patios is correct. At Crater Lake National Park, visitors can board trolleys or trolley for 2-hour tours of the lake. So trolleys, is it trolleys with an S, trolleys with a double S, or trolleys with the SES? And if we choose the correct word, the correct answer, right, or the plural form of trolleys, right, and then we just add an S. And as you can notice, or as you've noticed so far, that say, for example, the word, yes, the word ends with a Y, but if the word ends with an E and a Y, right, then we just add an S. But as soon as the word, for example, just ends with a Y, not EY, then we drop the Y and we add IES to show the plural form. So the first option, trolleys, is correct. Let's do the last one. We need to complete the sentence with the correct plural. Tight calf can lead to pain or injury. So stretching before a run or workout is recommended. So tight calf. So one calf, two calves, right? So it even sounds as if it's like it doesn't sound like a soft F. So it sounds like a V, right? Which means that it's going to be calves just with an S, the plural form, calves, or calves with a VES to show the plural form. And if we choose the correct plural form, we're going to say calves with a V, E, and S, right? And the third one is correct. So well done. The third one is correct. All right, so we're going to stop just there. So we went over our lessons of to form plurals of nouns ending in F, F, E, O, and Y. And we also formed and used plurals of nouns ending with F, F, E, O, and Y, right? And it shows that regular plurals, right? It shows um that something like it shows the noun that is more than, right? So plural is anything that is two or more. As like you say, it can be bigger numbers also. It doesn't necessarily just have to be two, right? But now if certain words either end in F, E, O, and Y, there's certain rules that we need to follow in order to change it to a plural word. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on regular plural nouns. Thank you very much for joining the class and for interacting. And I really hope that you're going to have a good evening further. Goodbye.